Hey, Crawl Spacers, welcome to our first news show of 2025. You know what? I liked him so much, I asked him to come on 2 shows in 2025. We got Mike back. What's up, Mike?
Well, after reading that, recapping that one Amazing Spider-Man issue, I feel better now. I'm not down in the dumps.
You're not down on your knees crying like a little, like
no.
Spider-Man was?
Yeah,
oh my God.
I'm well medicated now. Just
okay.
I'm
going to be down on my knees crying like Spider-Man if I have to read another one of those where he's...
I know.
My heavens.
Yeah, way to start off the new year with a very depressing issue of Amazing Spider-Man.
Gosh. We're going to call it, instead of Amazing, going to be called Medicated Spider-Man. Man.
Yeah, pretty, yep.
Jeez. All right, we got Christina back. What's up, Christina?
It's still better than the crap we went over yesterday.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, Christina does get the award for the worst Spider-Man comic of the year.
Well, to be fair, I didn't actually. I didn't see what I didn't subject myself. I didn't see what you guys did, because
if you want to see one of the worst Spider-Man stuff, just trippy. Like all mushrooms on the pizza without any cheese or nothing. It was straight up a mushroom trip. Read Spec Spider-Man, and I like Greg Weisman.
I did. I read that one. I did read that. I did, because I was thinking, this makes sense, because this is the same guy who wrote Gargoyles, and he was very into the whole into like the Fae Court and stuff. Like, you're repeating the same thing over again here.
If you want to see a review, and Christina did a great job with it, it's on Patreon. Sign up and you can check it out.
Okay.
We also bringing Sarah back. What's up, Sarah?
I can't wait to watch that. I'm sad I missed the show yesterday, because I knew that was going to be total trash.
It made Neil drop more swears than usual.
Yeah.
I look forward to watching this.
Yeah. And he's back. JR's back. What's up, JR?
Yeah, speaking of medicated, need more and more of it just to show up, but hey, I'm here.
Every month we get the defib on JR and we go, clear. All right, what's Norman doing now? All right. Hey, we have more Spider friends to join us. We've got Kelly. What's up, Kelly?
Hey.
Hello. Welcome to 2025.
Yeah.
Kelly, you are starting 2025 off well. You're avoiding a lot of bad Spider books.
As I try to, yes.
Well, you're doing a great job, because, man, these are rough. However, the Christina Ireland one in Amazing was good. We just talked about that. We also have George. What's going on, George?
I'm here.
Yeah.
You're here.
Are you sad you dropped no, never mind. I'm not even getting it out.
No, I caught a lot of the last one.
Yeah.
Where you guys were reviewing it, and I was like, no, I felt lucky. I felt as if I escaped and I could live life and just be free.
Yeah. Free bird, baby. You flipped them the bird and you're free.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they flipped me the bird, and I said, okay, I won't buy anymore.
Yeah. Hey, we got to do a Linus check. Where's your cat? Where's the kitty?
He is, or at least when I checked, he was back on the bed. Let me see.
Yep. Is he?
There he is.
There he is. Right there. What's up, Linus?
Sneaking
up
up
his
on
name. He's ready to be on the other box on all of us.
He does this thing where he will try to sneak up on me, literally from the front. And
he's
I'll
learning to pounce.
Yeah, and I'll watch him the entire time. Like, he'll sneak up on me, and I'm in full view, and I'm just sitting there looking at him like he's special,
Yeah.
And he is. He's my special boy, aren't you, buddy?
Yeah. Look at hey viewers, George has a heart. George has a heart. You didn't think it was possible, but he does.
Although,
all right,
he's a good boy.
Too small, perhaps, but no.
And we have Neil. What's going on, Neil?
George may be free of Ultimate Spider-Man, but he's not free of me.
No, you're like herpes.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no. I think a magnet is much more of an appealing image on that front.
All right, let's separate the boys. There we go. Oh, no, he's on. There we go. And let's see how many boxes I can put on this window. We have Chi-Town in the house. What's up, Chi-Town?
Hello.
Greetings, sir. Dylan Brock speaks for us is what you say under it. Yeah. What,
Yes.
Kelly? What's up?
So since this is very Brady Bunch right now, I feel like the girls should all be on one side.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Go.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wait, so now Neil is Alice?
Yeah.
Is that a bad? I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I don't know.
no, JR's Alice.
There you go. I was waiting for that one.
What am I? Am I Marcia? Am I Marcia?
No.
Marcia?
Yeah. You're Marsha.
I'm Marcia. Okay.
Personality-wise, yeah, you
Oh,
kind
so-
of fit Marsha.
Wait, so
Personality.
if you're Marsha, does that make me Bobby?
Yeah, you're Bobby.
Okay.
Yeah, you're Bobby.
Cool.
Okay.
Mhm.
And you're Greg, Christina, and you're Mrs. Brady, Mike.
Apparently so. Yeah.
I think it's kind of insane, and I'm glad I am not one of the people who has memorized where the Brady Bunch are in the 3x3. That's a bit.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, how the hell do you guys remember where they were?
In fairness, my obsessive knowledge is all the Pokemon. I guess these guys just have the obsessive knowledge of the Brady Bunch. So
it's amazing what stuff did you remember and want to get rid of and you can't. So
oh no, that's just ADHD.
I mean, I just remember Nick at Night.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, everybody has their. Everyone hits record on their mental hard drive at different points, Neil. I imagine you can spout off some X-Men Krakoa stuff, and I can tell you where the Brady Bunches land.
Nah, I forgot. I kind of honestly forgot it. I'm gonna be honest.
What's up, chat? How is everybody? Yes, we have a lot of people on here.
Can I just say,
Gary wants to know.
I got to say one thing.
Go ahead.
So I listened to a little bit of the last show when you guys were talking about Amazing Spider-Man, and at one point I heard Brad say, "And Spider-Man's crying like a little bitch."
Yeah.
And then later on, like minutes later, you're like, "Oh, don't you think like a good story you could have Green Goblin or Dr. Octopus saying something that makes Spider-Man cry?" And I'm like, "The hell." You said you were tired of him crying like a little bitch, and then you're like, "Oh well." Yeah,
I'm saying a character that was introduced 3 issues ago would not make Spider-Man drop to his knees and bawl. Norman Osborn could gut his heart a little bit, and that would feel more true.
Yeah, but he's Pepsi Man now.
What's Norman Osborn going to do to it? He's going to look at Norman, or the way he should look at Norman is, "This dude killed my girlfriend."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I listening?
It makes
to
him fight more. I'll give you that.
No, he's the Gold Goblin now. He's reformed, guys.
He's not jack shit. He's a murderer. Sorry, JR.
Yeah.
Gary wants to know why George dropped Ultimate.
I explained this.
Yeah, it's in Patreon,
on the
man.
Satellite.
It insisted upon itself.
But it just there's no action. It's all sauce. It's all A1 sauce. No steak.
No steak.
Okay.
Jeff says Chi-Town's here. Let's go. Brad should be in the middle. No, I'm good.
Let's go.
Let's see. Diabetic Superman. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Don't tell Brad how he should arrange the squares, or we'll never get this show done.
Right.
He'll just sit there and rearrange squares all night.
We have a time. We have a time limit.
Yeah.
Now I'm Paul Lynde on Hollywood Squares.
I'll take center square for the win, please.
Oh my gosh. All right. What are we going to start off with? I'm going to lead with Sarah with the biggest story that broke over right before Christmas, December 21st, when it got posted up on the crawl space. We have a new creative team, or kind of similar team. Talk to me about this, Sarah. What happened?
Okay, so in April, a new era of Spider-Man begins with a new creative team for Amazing Spider-Man. Writer Joe Kelly, which that's not new, but okay, who's written Deadpool and Uncanny X-Men, will join with artist John Romita Jr. and Pepe Larraz. The new run will start with Peter Jobless, big surprise, and a rampaging Rhino, but we're not yet sure who's behind the other villains and their sinister intent. Supposedly, we will see a villain that we haven't seen in 7 years. I'm very curious who that is. Although there was a quote I found interesting that was in some article I read, and this was from Joe Kelly, and it says that even though this is a new number 1, he says, I don't think it's a restart per se. And just to summarize what he said, writing the next chapter of the story of one of the world's greatest characters that he feels lucky to follow in the footsteps of the people before him. He spent a lot of time thinking about what he loves about Spider-Man and his cast and what stories resonated with him at different times of his life. And I'm very interested to see where he goes with this run, but I'm not hopeful. So there's that.
Okay, let's go around the horn. Pepe Larraz. Neil, we talked about last night. I didn't realize he was the artist on Blood Hunt, and I liked the style.
Yeah.
I'd like to kind of go last because I have the longest thoughts, and I'd like everyone else to have their turn first.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anybody have immediate thoughts? Will this make real quick? Will this make Kelly pick up this book?
No.
Hell no, you don't even have to ask that question. Are you serious?
Is Jackpot gone?
No.
I mean, she's not in this book anymore, so
she's in
partially.
But is she gone? Like, have we?
No, she's still a thing.
No, you've got all new love interest Carly Cooper too. Shay, what's her last name? I forgot what her last name is. Again, Mike, you're smart. You know what it. Mike, you remember her last name? What is it?
It's Markin, but I totally forgive you.
The hell's a Markin?
Yeah.
Is that a bird?
I don't know.
I got a joke, but I'm not going to touch it.
Anyway, I just want to state, at this point, I don't even care who generic girlfriend A, generic boyfriend B, whatever is. It's the fact that Jackpot goes against everything that Mary Jane is and has been. And until that is retconned, I really don't want to have to pick up any main title book unless I absolutely have to.
Chi-Town, is it making you pick the book back up?
Hell no.
Hell no. We got a hell no. All right. George, has this press release made you say, you know what? I'm going to try it again?
No.
Okay.
I don't even read Marvel's press releases anymore unless I get assigned to them on the news segment.
Okay.
Right.
So, Neil, go ahead. Pepe Larraz. He's a good-looking artist. I like it.
Well, let's tackle the elephant in the room. That this isn't really a new creative team. This is a third of a new creative team.
It's true.
We're bringing back Joe Kelly since when was it? Like 2009 when he was last on the book.
No, he was on the issue this month.
No, I'm talking about like Brand New Day.
Oh yeah.
When he was like a regular writer and not like writing with Justina Ireland.
15 years ago, probably, maybe. I don't
know. Give or take, probably, yeah. But Pepe Larraz, God tier artist. I wish he was on Ultimate instead of this book because I would buy the book. I will try the first issue. I don't expect a lot, but I'm interested to see, in my opinion, because I think Wells's run was Brand New Day 2. I kind of view Kelly's run with the setup that he's got here of like new girlfriend, looking for a job, as Big Time 2. And as someone who views Big Time as sort of a not necessarily even a guilty pleasure, I still kind of enjoy it, even though I know it's not like the best Spidey story, as far as like the meat and potatoes Spidey that we expect. I'm interested to see whether or not they treat it as like, okay, Big Time 1, we ironed, that was kind of our test run for the like permanent new girlfriend in everyone's favorite Poochie Carly Cooper. I'm interested to see whether or not Kelly treats Shay as like, okay, Carly walked with holes in her shoes so Shay could put on fresh Jordans and take off on a sprint. I don't think it will be good. And frankly, I think that, there goes my marker. Frankly, I think the return of not just an old writer, but also an old artist, bringing... Because I wasn't on the ASM show, I wanted to talk about Gleb Melnikov for a second.
Who's that?
He was the artist on 63 and 64.
Oh, the guy that reminds us all of, or at least me, of John Romita Jr.
That's my point, is that I think Amazing Spider-Man needs not just new writing talent, but also new artistic talent. If we keep going back to JR simply for name recognition, new artists will never get exposure in the same way that the old talents always have. I think Melnikov, or Big Gleb, as his fans call him, I think Big Gleb is a perfect transition from JR to JR Diet. And I don't say Diet as an offensive, but they have a very similar art style, very geometric, very blocky. Spidey even looks Spidey even has that same very geometric lens shape that JR uses. I just think. Oh, sorry, Brad.
Go ahead, finish your thought, and I want to hit something else up.
I'm gonna give it one chance. I gave the Wells run the first trade because I don't know. Maybe because I was feeling optimistic. It was 2022. I was having a good year that year. I wanted to give ASM a shot. But I kind of echo everyone else's sentiments. I'm mostly there to see how the experiment blows up. I'm not there to see it succeed.
I want to see how it burns. Chat's talking about, Kelly talked about how we need new editorial talent. Confirmed.
Yep.
If we're going to do a new creative team, we need it top to bottom. I want someone that's not been there before. I guess I'm biased in the fact that I don't mind John Romita coming back. This is like his fourth return to Spider-Man.
Well,
he was there in the mid '80s. He came back in the '90s. He came back with JMS. He came back with Zeb Wells. I'm a JR lover of his stuff. Agreed. He isn't as good as he once was, but who is?
Well, I think that's
let Kelly talk. Hang on, Kelly's got her hand raised.
I'll direct it, Neil. It's fine. Yeah. But Kelly, yes.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say is the issue is not the artist. Like the artist is told what to write by writing. We've got kind of this two-pronged issue where we, as much as editorial claims things aren't mandates, they definitely guide how the story needs to be written. And then when you also do not have that collaborative effort that almost all of these comic books don't have anymore between the writing team and the artistry team, it's an issue. And so we need new editorial that is willing to kind of say, well, why are we doing XYZ? Or how can we get a little bit more creative at getting around this for better storytelling opportunities than constantly hashing out the same thing over and over and over again. Then you need writers that have a passion and have some ingenuity and has thought about this before signing on. Because when they sign on, they don't get enough time anymore to really plot this out. This needs to be something that they have thought about for a long time. Yeah. And then it doesn't really matter. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. There's plenty of amazing artists. There's good artists, bad artists, middle of the road. That's all up to a form of preference. But at this point, with the way, how everything is structured now, how everything is done now for the process, it's the thing is I'm down for any artist that wants to do it, but they need to be able to work quickly. And
yes,
that's
because
what sucks.
the making of the sausages requires twice a month for it to come out.
Yeah,
so
it's honestly, with the time frame that they're trying, it's setting everybody up for failure anyway, and it doesn't help when people on the editorial team, who should be the ones that are backing them and helping them and supporting them in this fast turnaround, don't do crap.
Chi-Town, let's hear from you, man.
What Kelly just said is perfectly true. And I just want to chime in when she said, writers need to think of a process before, going to the factory and dealing out this, like you said, meat time again and again and again and again. The process, if a writer has a really good story planned and ready to go, next thing editorial is going to say, okay, do you agree with our mandate? Do you agree with our direction? That kind of blows the story out of the way. So it's either yes or no.
Unless you've thought about it enough that you know how to get around,
right.
Try to do what you're going to get around.
And I assume that a lot of these writers, because, Jed MacKay has openly said, I don't want ASM for multiple reasons. Chip Zdarsky said, I don't want ASM for multiple reasons. And I assume part of that is because they know what's behind the scenes, what's in the sausage machine. And most of these guys going in probably have a backup plan for if editorial strikes down their idea. The issue, and chat has brought this up, and we've brought it up in here too, is the bi-weekly releases. Because that offers one, they have to pay out for the trade, so they have they make 2 issues out of one story, and it doesn't give the writers any time to pivot. And I think if you look at terrible story decisions like Dark Web, I bring that up because that was sort of an inflection point for the Wells run as far as a point of no return. If they had been doing a monthly release, they would have had a bit more time to naturally change course away from a bad story decision. Whether or not they would have is subjective, and I don't think they would have because they're dedicated to that direction. But in a less restricted environment as far as time, it gives them that opportunity, which is one they don't have right now.
Gary in the Frozen wants to hear JR's opinion on the new, quote-unquote, new creative team, and also what do you think of the new number 1? Or are you still holding out to 1,000 before you quit? You're muted, JR. JR, you're muted. There you are.
There we go. Yeah, I didn't want anybody to hear me start to snore. Anyway.
That's fair. Thank you.
You don't like the topic. I get it.
1,000, but, obviously, this new direction is no new direction whatsoever. To be honest, I think you're all overthinking what Marvel. I don't think it's just with entertainment and all this. I don't think anybody cares anymore. Everyone's just interested in pushing out product. I really don't think anybody cares about quality. I don't think. I think it's just they don't look at these things as cultural icons. They look at these things as IP. How do we milk this IP? How do we get the most money out of this IP? And there is no care. There is no. And this is not just with comic books. I mean, this is with all forms of entertainment these days. So I'm to the point where I'm very meh. I'm not going to get upset about anything. I'm just going to wait it out.
Mike, Christina, anything we haven't heard from you guys? Any thoughts, either one of you?
I gotta say, whoever wrote the publicist thing on the Marvel.com thing, maybe should have gone through another rewrite, because this thing has all the excitement of watching grass grow. Because they're talking, because like they're like, oh, it's a new direction, and they're talking about how Peter Parker is going to be unemployed again, and he's going to be fighting all of these other classic rogue galleys again, and it's like, wow, you're really getting us enthused about this run here, folks, because there's nothing, because it just sounds like it's very paint by numbers kind of thing. Again, it sounds like another continuation of the Zeb Wells run, except with Joe Kelly on it. That's pretty much what it is.
It's the same buzzwords for the last 30 years.
Exactly. Yeah.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Why do you think I barely had anything to say about this article?
Yeah.
I did want to oh, sorry, Sarah. I didn't mean to.
I was going to say it's the same shit, different day, honestly.
Exactly.
I did want to point out that it was in the letters page for, can anyone remember ASM 56 or 57, where Lowe kind of gave the game away? I don't think intentionally, but in some ways it makes me understand his perspective on the situation, but I think he has a very corporate view of Spider-Man as a static brand, in the same way that, like, let's look at a character like Iron Man. Iron Man, in the most recent run, lost his company in the first issue for, what is this now, the 5th time? X-Men just got blown off Genosha 5 by a Sentinel with adamantium butt cheeks or something. I don't know. These characters have been kind of streamlined into like narrative archetypes that can kind of be rolled out, and they can go a brand new era because they got someone with a slightly more unique art style on them. And that's not to say I dislike Iron Man or X-Men, but that's kind of the mentality at the upper crust that Marvel has, and Lowe has kind of accidentally given us the most transparent view of what goes on behind the scenes and how editors view the character. And it's like what Kelly said, and what Sarah said, that these are more IPs, and also what JR said, that these are IPs, not characters. Frankly, I think they've been this way since the Toy Biz buyout. But it's become more and more apparent and more aggressive as Marvel was acquired by Disney, and they've slowly ramped up with like the synergy with the MCU, all of these tie-ins. Marvel Rivals has MCU stuff and comic stuff, all this brand synergy, and that's kind of like the consolidation of these characters into little marbles of corporate slop. Eat your little pellet, buddy. Future is now. It was just like the past.
All right, we got a couple. This one I didn't show the panel. I'm going to surprise them about this one. This was on Twitter. Gail Simone wrote on Twitter, what Marvel couple gets busy more often? And, of course, we have Rogue, and we have Thor, and Luke, and Black Bolt. Tom Brevoort, the editor of the X-Men comics, says MJ and Paul.
You know what? I'll be honest. I'll be honest.
Wow.
Okay.
It's rage baiting. It's rage baiting. Don't engage.
Oh, yeah.
Don't engage.
It's a trap.
I had a sensible chuckle.
I'll take trolling for 500, Alex.
Yeah. What, Kelly? Kelly's excited. What happened?
And this is coming from the man who defends that issue of Spider-Girl that has a teenager drawn in the shower. So do we really, really want to talk about what he seems to think happens in comics? Because I don't really want to know what goes on in his nasty life.
I don't take Tom Brevoort seriously whatsoever.
The reason we talked about we're talking about the characters that are currently in the book, and Neil has this next topic. He said, Brad, can I do this one? Because we just talked about Paul. And I'm like, okay, what do you want to talk about? And I'm like, you're taking me to the Guardian? What? Okay,
so
take me through
in a nameless political culture issue, because I don't want to get demonetized or inspire the wrath of any of our brave contributors to this esteemed podcast.
I can't see it.
In an anti-insert politician's name here protest, a protester named Paul Rabin gave a statement on the two-tier justice system, which unfortunately I found and I thought was very funny, and I shared to the Discord. By the way,
you said on the Discord, let's not give Brad any ideas.
Yeah, and then I thought it would be really funny to bring it up.
And then Neil was like, Brad's not going to make us do it. And Brad didn't even know what the hell was going on until you foisted it on him.
And anyway, by the way, guys, don't go looking for this Paul guy. Either it's a pseudonym that someone thought would be funny, or it's a guy who's actually named Paul Rabin.
His name is Paul Rabin or whatever it is. He's quoted in that article.
He just got pulled off the street for his opinion. Don't go finding him just for the giggle of it. He's a random guy.
What channel, George, Neil, or what channel can they find it? Because I thought the Guardian, it's making me subscribe, so I can't show it.
It's in the Comics News and TV channel.
Got it. Okay. I found it. Hold on. It's right.
He's broken the fourth wall, guys. You can't escape him now.
It's right there. There's the if I can copy and paste. There it is. Paul Rabin right there.
Here we go, guys.
Yay.
This is the equivalent of Mariah Carey breaking out of containment for Christmas.
It's like if they interviewed someone for an article and they interviewed Peter Parker. So I thought that was good. Inside the whatever. Mm-hmm. So there you go. George, let's go to you for the next topic. It's another Spider-Man book that may excite some people.
Yeah.
What's this next one, George?
In a world where Disney literally is like milking everything that they own, trying to squeeze every little bit of blood out of it. Two things that they haven't ruined yet are Alien and Predator.
Yeah, they're both...
which they own now because they bought Fox. Mm-hmm. So this coming summer, I believe. Hang on, let me refer back to the Crawl Space article, which has this press release.
April it says.
April, okay. Yeah, so this spring. So Spider-Man, like Batman, and I think Predator has fought like Terminator and RoboCop.
He's fought Superman too, I think too. Also,
yeah, he did.
Yeah,
and
he's recently fought Wolverine and Black Panther too. And
I was going to say Wolverine was in there too.
Yeah.
So, well, you say he. Each one of these is their own Predator, Brad. I'm pretty sure
true.
that
they all die.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm pretty sure whatever Predator went after Wolverine didn't live to tell the story.
Truth.
I've not read that though. Anyway, so yeah, Spider-Man's going to fight the Predator, or a Predator. This Predator's name is the Skinner.
They have names now? Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
They have names now.
I saw that and I thought, okay. I guess they're like symbiotes now. Where we're all calling them, something. So this one is the Skinner.
Okay.
And it made me wonder if he also thinks that the children are wrong. But
Simpsons joke.
My favorite. my favorite part
I get it.
of this press release was where the writer Benjamin Percy says Spider-Man is at the top of every writer's wish list. And I read that, and I remember somebody talking about it on the over on the Discord maybe a week or so ago, and I said, well, this was true at one time. This is no longer true. And we just went down a list of people who have passed on writing Spider-Man now because they're like, I'd rather take a bullet in the head.
Can I just say I'm not inspired by Ben Percy as the writer choice for this run, or Marcelo Ferreira.
Well, I hadn't heard of him until this press release, and then I went and I looked him up on the Googles, as you do, and found his Wikipedia entry. He's a steely-eyed young man. Has written The Dark Net, The Deadlands, Red Moon, and The Wilding, which I assume is about werewolf strippers.
What the?
Okay.
That's very specific, and I wonder how long you thought of that.
Wow.
Real quick, I'm familiar with the writer, and Neil and I are very opposite on it when it comes to X-Men. And I liked his Wolverine run. I really liked his Ghost Rider run. I thought Percy did a great Ghost Rider run, and I also thought Percy did a great Wolverine versus Predator. I thought that was good.
The opposite of I guess the reason I hold an opposite opinion is because the X-Force run that he started with before Wolverine was really funny because it was like Beast imagining hoo guys, what war crime can I commit today? And
I didn't read X-Force.
The escalating cartoonishness of how evil Beast got was like simultaneously mind-boggling but also really funny. And then at some point they both Wolverine and X-Force devolved into an absolute slog of like intermingling stories. Now
George, go ahead real quick, Neil.
Maybe we'll get with a limited runtime, Percy will have a more concise script. Apparently, Adam in chat liked Wolverine versus Predator, but I just think that Percy's one trick pony of just doing all edge no point, and I even ignoring the fact that Spidey should just job out to the Predator. Just for the plot to make him have a fighting chance. I just don't have a whole lot of hope that he'll, one, get Spidey's voice right, but two, also have a good flow as far as the book goes.
Now, George, the reason I gave this to you, I imagine that you like, we've never talked about this, but I know you like action films, and I would imagine The Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger is you consider a good classic movie from the 80s.
I enjoyed the Predator movies.
Me too.
I enjoyed the Alien versus Predator movies.
Me too.
They weren't great. They weren't well made or well written, but I enjoyed them for what they were.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. When you look at the movies, and you're like, it took Arnold Schwarzenegger, a regular guy in his movie. I mean, granted, a soldier of fortune, a skilled warrior, but still, at the end of the day, regular dude to beat this guy. And then it takes, in the second film, it takes Danny Glover, an aging cop, to beat the Predator. I'm like, what chance does the Predator have against Spider-Man? For crying out loud!
Yeah, I was going to say, who wins in the fight? And obviously, you're saying Spider-Man whoops him in 3 panels.
It should. We'll see how it plays out, but this should kind of have a Kingpin kind of a flavor where Spider-Man doesn't go into the fight, at 100%. Something should happen to him where he's handicapped or gimped in order to make this interesting or fair. Otherwise, there's no excuse why he doesn't just wipe the floor with a damn Predator. The alternative is to send like a team of Predators against him. That would be interesting.
Okay.
What's weird is the fact that wouldn't Kraven the Hunter kind of be a little jealous because Predator's stealing his shtick here.
Like a roided up cosmic version of him.
I think Kraven's in the issues. I think.
Oh, he is. Okay.
It would be cool if like this forced the Spider-Man Kraven team up.
Ooh,
yeah. Because he can look at Kraven and think, what is Kraven never killed my girlfriend? He only killed himself. You know,
Yeah.
Kraven last hunts himself when he sees how great the Predator is.
you know, and maybe at the end of the story, maybe the Predators adopt Kraven and just take him to space. And then,
that would be awesome, though. I would love to see Kraven and the Predator.
Predator versus Kraven. Now, George,
Kraven.
will this make you go out and pick this issue up?
I might.
Yeah.
I might actually pick this up.
I'm down for it. I'm down. I love the aliens and predators.
I mean, it doesn't light a fire underneath me to, make me run out and go grab it. But I mean, if it comes out in April, by that time, I probably will have already gone over and put it
on the shelf. You will have Amazing Spider-Man Volume 7, 8, and right next to it, you'll have Volume 1 or Volume 7 issue 1.
I think you just want to do this, whatever the hell this is.
It's my Kirby hands. You taught me Kirby hands.
It looks like you're having a seizure. Are you okay? Do I need to call?
I'm fine. JR, I know you were married about 25 years in 1986 when the movie came out. But are you a big Predator fan? Do you like this pairing?
First of all, I ain't buying this. I did like the first two Predator movies.
Yeah.
But no interest in it. I mean, again, like someone's already said, he's, the Predator, really, it's just Kraven's shtick on steroids.
Yeah.
I mean,
out of curiosity, raise your hand on the panel if you're going to buy this book.
Wow, what a great sign of assurance.
Me, George, Christina. Yeah. Okay. Sarah, you're not down for this. I thought Sarah would be down.
Sorry, I hate Predator. Hate it. No.
Oh, we got to dive into this. Why do you hate the Predator?
It's okay. Don't call me what you called Spider-Man in the last episode.
I would not. I would never.
It freaks me out. Like, I have no interest in Predator at all. I don't do scary things. No.
I don't know if I have a similar, not necessarily a similar opinion to Sarah, but it's like in the same way I like analyzing the themes of like the Alien movies rather than watching them themselves.
I mean, it's a very simple thing. So it's not really a horror thing. It's an alien that happens to look horrible.
No.
But the whole thing, that's their whole point, is they're just.
Do you not like any horror films, Sarah? Or
nope.
is horror?
Have you ever been to Michigan? It's like being in Michigan.
I'm right there with you.
No. I mean, I have watched horror movies and I've hated it every single time. Absolutely not. No.
Christina, you said you were on the fence about Predator versus Spider-Man.
And what did George say about Michigan? That's where I'm from, sir.
No, hang on. I didn't say that bad, but Michigan got a lot of people that hunt in there.
Yeah, that's true. He's not wrong. Yeah, if it's anything like the Aliens Avengers comic, I am interested to see it, read it. So I might give it a shot. So
Aliens versus Avengers is really good. I don't know if anybody's reading it.
I gotta be honest, I didn't have a lot of, even though it was Hickman announced on the team, I didn't have a lot of faith going in. But like 2 issues in, damn, we're eating good.
We got yes. Sarah needs to watch Prey. It's one of the best Predator. Have you, George? You seen that
Prey
one?
is actually pretty good.
Prey is
actually. Yeah.
I want to see a Predator holding like the vulture skull with a spine attached to it against the moonlight.
This is a dumb question. Is this in 616 or is this an alternate universe?
I'm pretty sure it's probably an
alternate
universe.
It's alternate.
Because I remember reading it's been a long time since I read Wolverine versus Predator #1. Because that was the only one I read of it, but I got the implication that like it was an alt universe, but these things you never know.
Mm-hmm. Kelly, what is this phobia? I don't know what trypophobia.
It's the little holes. So like in the predator's skin on that cover, it's
you can see every pore.
Yeah. So, but it's kind of like when
I don't even have the cover.
It's a fear or extreme disgust of a bunch of tiny holes.
Like patterns, pattern pores. I think is the
pattern.
It's gross. Okay. I don't want to touch that cover.
But Kelly, you're a big horror film fan. I think. Do you like?
I don't like no, because it's not horror.
It's sci-fi horror, I guess.
Yeah.
Would you classify it more as a thriller?
No,
I classify it as sci-fi.
I would say
there's no science behind it though. That's the thing. That's like calling Star Wars sci-fi.
It's because it's an alien. But of course,
right.
But Star Wars is also sci-fi because it's
Star Wars is not sci-fi at all.
Yeah, it is.
No,
It's a space opera. Okay, we're not going down this rabbit hole tonight. We've got news to cover.
Brad. No, Brad needs to hear this. All right, Brad.
Oh, lordy.
All right,
Brad,
go ahead. I need to hear this, evidently.
Star Trek is science fiction.
Yeah.
Okay. Star Wars is fantasy.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Science fiction, fantasy.
I disagree. All right.
I know you do, but you're wrong.
But so are you.
No, I'm actually.
The general public would disagree. Not that you're not on the right. I don't disagree with you, but in terms of how to classify it within the general public and within the brand itself, unfortunately, Star Wars has been misbranded as sci-fi.
I think Lord of the Rings is fantasy. I think stuff that takes place in outer space is sci-fi.
No, not everything that happens
science
in space
fiction.
is sci-fi.
I mean,
not everything that happens in space is science, Brad.
It's a space opera.
Wait,
Brad,
it's science.
Just
call it space fiction. Christina, what were we going to say? I'm sorry.
As a Star Wars fan,
yes,
it is space opera. So
it is not science fiction, Brad.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Christina, we're going to you next. We talked about Kraven a little bit.
Yeah.
And you've got this next one because you and I saw the movie.
Yep.
Boom! It bombed.
Yes. Yes, it only made $11 million opening weekend. They expected it to make more, and then the projections just ended up continuing to go down and down. And
By the way, Forbes' website sucks. I had to turn my pop-up blocker, and look at this thing. Like, my God.
What is that? Hang on.
What, that? I'm scared to click on it, Neil. And she looks too young to be retired. I mean, come on.
No, I think.
Why are they selling military-grade hardware on there? What is going on Temu?
All right. Anyway, $11 million opening weekend. That's a big, bad Sony opening.
Yeah, it is the worst opening for these Sony non-Spider-Man films, basically, that they've done. And then it had a really bad 72% drop in second weekend.
72% drop. Wow.
Yep, and got a C cinema score as well, which is even worse than like Madam Web and Morbius and stuff too. So,
yeah, but you know what? It's better than Madam Web in my opinion. I think it's better than Morbius. I mean, it's of the three, it's not that awful.
Yeah, but Brad, the thing is that the other things before it tainted.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So it kills enthusiasm for this thing on a lot of different levels. Sort of like how Star Wars right now. Star Wars has got a great series called Skeleton Crew.
Jesus.
No, Brad. No, there's a great series right now that they're doing called Skeleton Crew. It's got Jude Law and a bunch of kids. And it's
You're
like
the only person I've ever heard say anything about it. Like
it's like the Goonies.
I watch it too. So
is it good?
It's
good,
show.
You say?
It's a good show.
Yeah. I like
but apparently, like it. As far as viewers, it's not performing as well as the series that came before it, which was very controversial. A lot of people didn't want to watch it. Mm-hmm. So you've got, when you have one thing that's awful, it can kind of kill enthusiasm. It's like a domino effect. It's like it makes things so bad and sets the status quo so low that you kind of lose interest in it.
Absolutely, I agree.
I mean, George is kind of right in that Star Wars had like two of those cycles because the show that came, Obi-Wan, kind of poisoned the well for Andor, which is some of the best Star Wars ever made. Yeah, but Obi-Wan just being like a mid-series completely poisoned the well.
I thought Obi-Wan was great.
When Last Jedi
it was okay.
And Last Jedi was so controversial, and you had a lot of critics that loved it because it was subversive, but then fans were like, this is ass.
Not everybody, George. Not
everybody. I realize you and Brad liked it, and probably Neil because Neil's like that and he's weird.
I liked the second one. I did not like the last.
Okay, well, most of the fandom thought it was shit. Okay,
why are we having this conversation?
So, because I'm trying to explain this to Brad. Neil, shut up. I'll get the puppets later. For right now, Brad, words will work for Brad.
Hey, all right.
So, wow. All right. Now I forgot where I was.
Good.
Spider-Man podcast.
Yes, it was.
Yep, that's where we're at.
We're talking about Kraven right now.
Anyway, yeah. So, all right. So, Last Jedi came out. and it was it was a piece of garbage. But now I went and saw Last Jedi because I'm expecting, oh, this will be a good thing. It's Star Wars. I like Star Wars. I go see Star Wars. Oh my God, who do I hold responsible for this trash? Now I had already given them my money at that point, so to make up for that and to kind of give Sony the middle finger my own way, I didn't go see Solo in the movie theater, and I suspect I wasn't alone. I suspect a lot of people were still so pissed about Last Jedi that they didn't bother to go see Solo at all.
Well, there's a few reasons what happened with Solo. So,
and it comes back to what you're saying is Madam Web pissed a lot of people off. Morbius pissed a lot of people off, and they didn't even give this one a try.
I wouldn't say it pissed people off so much as people just didn't expect it.
They don't care.
To be good. And at that point, they're like, why should I bother to see this? I can see this later on Netflix or Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the same way I did with, like, the Venom movies.
Christina, there's talk about this killing the Sony side villains.
Side chick. Oh,
side chick.
Sony side.
That's a good name for it. Sony's side chick Spider-Man. Do you think this is the end of them going to the well to make new characters, make an own IP for it?
I do think right now they are definitely on hold because they're going to focus on the things that make the money, like Spider-Man 4. They're working on shooting Spider-Man Noir. Not right now because of the fires. They're working on Beyond the Spider-Verse. And so they're working on right now the things that make them money. But even like the head of Sony recently came out and said, yeah, they're not putting out any movies right now because how good they are, they're still bomb.
Mm-hmm.
So everything's definitely on hold right now and focusing on the things that make them money.
There's also discussion, and this leads into who's got this one. I think it's Kelly has this one. The Spider-Man Noir.
That's me, Brad.
Oh, it's
I only have one.
You got the other one. But the thing is, what I think they may pivot to is only doing variants of Spider-Man, like the Noir, or let's do a Miguel, let's do a Miles movie. I think in the future, and I think if you put the name Spider-Man on it, it'll probably sell if it's a variant. Go ahead, Kelly.
So the issue with Sony in general too is their edits, their editorial teams. Just to like take something that's completely not comic book related. But like It Ends With Us whole situation and drama has also tanked and ruined Sony's credibility, especially because of Sony's editorial team making such a bad edit that you then had an actress with the resources to make an edit herself and then basically pitch it to the higher ups. And that's kind of how that movie, like what we see is what Blake Lively took and cut, because what Sony did was absolutely garbage. And considering the movie is garbage anyway, that says a lot. And so like in that also tracks with the ADA sinking in Madam Web. And this goes as far back as Spider-Man 3. The edit, like there's something with Sony and how they process movies, period, that is just not clicking. And it's beyond just let's do a movie without Spider-Man. Obviously, no. Spider-Man's Rogue Team does not work without Spider-Man.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it's also, these movies were never made with like any intention of giving you a good story. And it shows 100%. And the only thing that I think was ever given any right to be decent was the animated movies, and those
which has Spider-Man in it.
And I want Sony to keep the rights. I don't want them to take it away because I really don't want Disney touching it. But the thing is Sony needs to figure their shit out, and it goes beyond just Spider-Man.
Has Sony done more good than harm to the character? I think the Sam Raimi stuff is good. Some of the Tom Holland stuff is good. The Into the Spider-Verse animated stuff is good. Then there's the opposite of Madam Web and Morbius. Mike, what do you think? Answer that question.
Well, let's see. I do think some ways it certainly started off because with the Sam Raimi things, they capitalized on Spider-Man. But I think where they really dropped the ball, and I think there was another article that mentioned this, is the fact that due to the fact that Venom, the first one, did well, Sony got it in their heads that, oh, we can do this with all the different Spider-Man stuff.
Absolutely.
And like when anyone with an ounce of common sense and, more than, double-digit IQ points would have figured out that, no, you have to have Spider-Man in this in order to create this stuff. And then Venom by itself has become kind of its own character IP already. So that's why it kind of worked. But for all this other stuff, did anyone really stop and think like, well, why would Morbius work at all without being connected with Spider-Man? Or Kraven the Hunter, the reason why everyone got so enamored with Kraven the Hunter in the first place, because for years he was, let's face it, wasn't that great of a character until he blew off his own head in Kraven's Last Hunt. But you have to tie Spider-Man to it. And all this other talk, and the thing is, I bring this up again with if you go back to the Sony emails and how they were talking about how we're going to make a Spider-Man universe and everything, and they want to try to create a Sinister Six thing. Well, you got to have Spider-Man involved. And the fact that these guys, somebody thought that, hey, we can make competing, super comic book superhero movies based off of these characters they're basically that are side characters in Spider-Man comics, but not tie Spider-Man in them. There was always going to be doomed to fail, and that everyone except apparently these Sony executives didn't saw this, so I'm not surprised by the fact that Kraven the Hunter bombed, and I'm not surprised the fact that they're thinking maybe we should rethink about this whole thing. Well, yeah, you guys should have, so. To me, it's just like it's an experiment that was doomed to fail from the get-go, and it just kind of, to me, it just fit. It's very characteristic of kind of the Hollywood corporate mentality that these guys feel like they are so profit-driven that they don't realize, hey, maybe there's something about this. Maybe there's something about this that maybe it's not going to work. That it won't work because they're only thinking about, hey, can we get people in the theater seats? But yeah.
All right. Yeah, Neil.
So I'm going to play a bit of the long game. You asked whether or not Sony has killed the character.
No,
and while
I said, did they do well with the character?
So I'm going to make a controversial opinion. I think that shut up, George. I saw you mouthing your opinion there.
Hey, keep it civil. Come on.
Okay, so while I think the Raimi films on their own are good movies, I think the traits that they introduced, like the kind of misery porn in Spider-Man 2, where they constantly focus on Peter's misery, leaked backwards into the comics, and like the kind of softer spoken Tobey Maguire, those traits informed the Tom Brevoort story Bible that led into Brand New Day.
Oh, yep.
So while they have handled the brand good on their own, at least for the first... How long did they have the rights for? A decade by the time Spider-Man 3 came out?
Mm-hmm.
While on a broader note, they handled the character well, they unintentionally started a chain effect of breaking the character from the source material.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of bounced backwards to the Amazing films, the Mark Webb series, and then that bounced back into... the comics again, and then they took that kind of goober Peter that we've had since the Slott era, put that into Tom Holland, less in dialogue and more in like that kind of that cinnamon roll mentality where he's just a hapless goober. And then the Tom Holland iteration has infected Marvel Animation, and everything it's a feedback loop of making things worse.
Their next attempt, and this is leading into Chi-Town, is actually putting the name Spider-Man in a project, calling it Spider-Man Noir.
Wow.
And we have a first look of Nick Cage, or probably Nick Cage stunt double, in here. Take me through this, Chi-Town.
All right, so TMZ has published a report of seeing the first Spider-Man Noir costume. No, that is not Nick Cage. That is a stunt double. And for our listeners, it's exactly what you see in the Spider-Verse. It's black silhouette, trench coat, fedora. If you've seen this Into the Spider-Verse cartoon, this is the Spider-Man Noir that you're going to see live action on Prime Video, I believe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a TV series. Nick
I don't know who Nick Vial's hotshots are. Let me go back.
Whoa, go back.
No, Neil, I'm good. Go ahead, Chi-Town, keep going.
Nicolas Cage will reprise the role.
Yeah.
And this looks interesting, in my opinion. It's like what you guys were saying, actually, was like we're seeing a variant Spider-Man. And I wouldn't be surprised if the series starts off with, Nicolas Cage coming through a portal holding a Rubik's Cube, and this is a continuation of his story. I mean, that would make sense, but I don't know what kind of IP or copyright Prime Amazon is going to go through with Sony, but it does look interesting.
I mean, I'll give it a try. I think Nick Cage is a little bit too old to be this guy. He's 60 years old.
He's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that's like saying Keanu Reeves too old to play this thing.
Or
Keanu
Michael
Reeves
Keaton for
the
even Michael Keaton for Batman. I'll give you that.
Aren't you guys excited to see Ben Reilly Noir?
No.
That's what this is.
I'll give it a try. I don't think I was asking for Spider-Man Noir to be on my TV screen, but I'll give it a try. JR, will you tune in?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe
it's in your house.
If
All you
my
gotta
wife
do is
makes me, I might.
your wife would not make you watch a Spider-Man show.
If there was a noir version of the Green Goblin, would you?
Well,
Norman's in Noir, isn't he? I think he is.
I think
he's in
he
the
is.
first
Yeah.
one, but he's a monster in it. He's not really all human, and I don't particularly care for that interpretation.
Like the Goblin Hulk.
Oh God, I hate that.
It wasn't quite the Goblin Hulk, but he was and I want to say he wasn't quite a mutant, but he wasn't completely human. He was like a sideshow freak or something that was masquerading as a human.
Okay.
I don't remember it, but I don't like those interpretations.
Me neither. I don't either. While we're on the TMZ site, Kelly, tell me about this that just blew up the internets the other day.
Yeah, sure. Well, before I start, I do want to just, bring up that it is TMZ. And while most of the time they do tend to have the correct information, it's still TMZ and they are still gross and terrible. But this all kind of started, like the rumors started when on Sunday during the Golden Globes, Zendaya her stylist had sent out everything she would be wearing, which included all of her jewelry, and this ring that she is wearing here was noticeably absent, which means it's something from her personal collection, not anything from that has been donated or given to her for styling purposes. And because it's on that finger, on her ring finger, it sparked a lot of discussion. Also did not help that like Amy Pascal and other team, basically co-stars, co-workers, were all running up to her, and Zendaya was basically showing it off. So then after that, TMZ had kind of published this article advising that yes, that they can confirm, even though no, it's still speculative because neither of the teams have come out, but that they are Tom Holland and Zendaya are engaged, allegedly. I've got confirmation on People Magazine that Tom Holland's dad evidently has a podcast. There you go. And he said the actor was incredibly well prepared for the proposal, and they'll make a successful union, is the quote the dad said on the podcast. Dominic Holland. All right. Well, Dominic Holland has confirmed. So we can confirm. But yeah, so they're engaged, and it's very nice and sweet. Oh my gosh, look at her with his dad.
Why is he so short?
Because Zendaya's taller than him.
Yeah.
Good point.
She's probably wearing heels, but anyway, so apparently they got engaged in between Christmas and New Year's. It was just something between the two of them. Apparently it's not very flashy, although that ring speaks for itself because it is huge. But I think that they're cute together, and they're we don't really hear much about them. And here's the quote from his dad saying, "Tom, quote, Tom, as you know by now, was very
incredibly well prepared. He had purchased a ring. He had spoken with her father and gained permission to propose to his daughter. Tom had everything planned out: when, where, how, what to say, what to wear. So look at Tom.
See, that's nice.
That's really
so
nice.
I do want to make a point on our kind of our comment feed that Mr. Comics says $100 says Marvel will try and break them up because MJ and Peter can't be married.
Oh, come on.
Oh man.
Yeah, you see Kevin Feige walk into the boardroom and toss their publicist a shotgun. All right, you know what to do. Find the ant.
But
Go
no,
ahead, Kelly.
it's a good segue of what I wanted to bring up, which is if Marvel had a decent marketing team that would go back and kind of look at nostalgia and realize that nostalgia bait is king right now, wouldn't it make sense to just like offer them the absolute world in trying to combine their wedding with a new wedding in the comic books? Because this is literally what 1980s Marvel marketing would have wanted. They would have died.
They kind of did do this too.
They did do this. They tried to do it with the comic strip.
Yeah,
the
but that was
book.
that was the Marvel of the late '80s. Today's
So
Marvel would rather get nut cancer than.
All I'm saying is just if they had any sense in their heads, they would try this. Not to mention, I personally want to see if Law Roach, who is Zendaya's stylist, can find the missing MJ dress from the Mets Gall, because if there's anybody with enough power to find it, it would be Law Roach. So I'm pretty excited to see what's going to happen here.
Like it's a relic in Tomb Raider.
I think
you know it got stolen.
Yeah, I know.
George, it got stolen.
Yeah.
No, I know it did.
I do think that while it would be cool, and history repeats itself because time is a flat pizza circle. I do think that I'm not necessarily saying it would be a gimmick, but I do think people would kind of see it as like a corporate synergy event, and I think a lot of people don't have the mental patience for corporate events, if that makes sense. Like it would be more transparently a corporate gimmick than like the original Peter MJ wedding, which was like a novelty for its time and cool, and people would just see this as like, oh, this is just marketing. This is boring.
Go ahead, Peter.
I think what basically Kelly said, it would be a smart idea for this to happen. But Tom Brevoort, Jordan White, Nick Lowe, CB Sabal, they're never going to let it. Their egos are much more too heavy.
They also have a tendency to have a thought process that doesn't allow minority women. So
the more likely scenario is that they'll say, "Oh, yeah, now Peter's instead of Shay, he's dating some girl named Michelle Jones. See how clever we are."
Yeah,
didn't they do that?
Sony has pointed out that that their MJ is not MJ. It is, but it's not. But it is.
You know, one thing that
Schrodinger's redhead.
If we go by celebrities, and I don't know Tom Holland, I don't know Zendaya, all I know is what I see, and I wish them the best. I think he seems like a class act as a ambassador of Spider-Man. It seems like he is a genuinely nice guy from what I've seen. One time when they were at a premiere, her dress was like had like a malfunction. He stood in front of the cameras and blocked it. He's pushed across. He's kind of protected her from the paparazzi I've seen a couple of videos of. Mm-hmm. He is a very good dude from what I've seen, and he's also a good ambassador for this character that we love. Mm-hmm. And she seems like a nice, down-to-earth, she's absolutely stunning, but she seems like a generally nice person. Mm-hmm. And when two generally nice people get together from what I've seen of them, I wish them the best. And I hope this one sticks. In Hollywood, they have everything up against them. They have the paparazzi. They've got rags like TMZ writing he's having an affair or whatever. They got all those strikes against them, but I wish this young couple who are in their late 20s, I hope this one works for them.
They're very cute off camera. They are very cute.
And just watching when they do press for the movies, those two they've got great chemistry.
Yeah, they do.
On screen, they have more chemistry off screen than often on screen, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people off camera. So I have 2 points. The first is don't let Shamik Moore know about this. It will ruin everything. The second point is I feel like the ambassador to Spidey thing is why I think people would kind of see through it as less of a interesting like public event and more as like a corporate event, because I think Tom Holland shouldn't have to be like the public ambassador for the Spider-Man brand, copyright, trademark, Marvel Studios 2024. He should just be allowed to marry his wife or marry his fiance. Yeah. And that's part of the reason, not necessarily why I have an objection to like recreating the wedding from the 80s, but more just like let them have their wedding in peace with their loved ones and don't try and make it like some kind of corporate marketing event.
Yes, but I really just want that wedding dress to be found.
We can do that. We can do that as like a side quest.
we have been for years.
We can let that be like our generation's equivalent of the empty vault that Gerardo Rivera opened. And then we can...
I just want Law Roach to find it.
While I agree with Kelly that the synergy should be obvious, Marvel is not a smart group of people that would seize on that kind of thing.
Bingo.
And honestly, the weekend that Tom Holland and Zendaya get married, I wouldn't be surprised if whatever issue comes out around that time has Mary Jane getting herpes from Paul.
Okay, so Adam,
I wouldn't put it
Jesus
past
Christ,
Marvel.
George.
So Adam in chat brings up you don't want some D-bag portraying Spidey. I don't think those are two separate, mutually exclusive points. I don't want a D-bag portraying Spidey. I think that Tom Holland is a genuinely good person based off of what I've seen of him. But what I'm saying is that he should not be Marvel's corporate trick monkey in order to like portray the brand. That like the idea of like fans should become ambassadors for the brand like that. That's really weird corporate marketing speak. And I don't think Tom Holland as a person should be beholden to someone's wishes for his wedding and Zendaya's. I don't think Zendaya should have to be representative of MJ just as much as Tom Holland should have to be a representative of Peter. They're individuals. Let them live out their lives.
Yep.
All right. We talked about Sony's take on Spider-Man. Now let's see what Marvel, who is in control of this next property, what they're going to do with it, Neil. This is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. This is coming to Disney Plus in a few days, I think. I'm not sure the premiere.
Okay, so once upon a time... Oh, sorry.
Talk to me about the topic is the people were asking, does this take place in the MCU? And the executive producer and the writers are saying, quote, this takes place in the sister timeline. So take me through this, Neil.
It's a variant of the variant.
So once upon a time in the far off year of 2021, in the distant past, there was a little event called D23. Maybe you've heard of it. It's very niche. At that convention, they had a panel of Marvel's upcoming animation slate for the next 3 or 4 years. And in it, they unveiled a show called Spider-Man Freshman Year. It's based off a very obscure property called Spider-Man. Maybe you've heard of it at some point. And it was supposed to be a prequel to the version in the indie cult classic Spider-Man Homecoming and Captain America Civil War, portrayed by Tom Holland, covering his origins as he begins his time as Spider-Man in the 6 months before Captain America Civil War by Marvel Studios. And somewhere along the line, things broke, for lack of a better term. I don't know what exactly broke, but at some point, it became not an MCU prequel. It became not Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And it just kind of stopped being Spider-Man somehow.
Yeah.
Much like its predecessors, Ultimate Spider-Man and Marvel's Spider-Man 2017 copyright trademark Marvel animation. Your Friendly Spider-Man Freshman Year was rebranded into Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and has become something.
It's called We Paid the Money. We got to produce it. We got to put it out.
When Marvel realized that they would get crucified on a cross if they followed the David Zaslav path of I'm going to make it a tax write-off, they decided, well, shit, I don't want the crucifixion, so I'll go with the public shaming and stoning.
It doesn't make it look like Marvel has much confidence in this at all, does it?
That is also supported, Brad, because in 2023, Marvel laid off half of the animation team on Spider-Man. And you'll also notice that if you pay attention to the credits, this is animated by the same studio that a decade prior animated Tron Uprising, a series that does not, in fact, copy and paste the same 10 buildings over and over again.
Yeah.
In the same art style of a 3D models with a 2D filter over them. You know how Snapchat works. You know what a filter is. And included with Peter are a young non-albino Lonnie Lincoln as a football player. Characters from the hit Hulu TV series Marvel's Runaways, Nico Minoru, and somehow Doctor Strange brings a spider from an alternate dimension to bite Peter because we needed show to have coexistence with the MCU somehow. Also, Giancarlo Esposito-esque looking Norman Osborn and his twink son Harry are in the sun somehow. I don't know anything about it, but also Aunt May keeps getting younger and younger. That Benjamin Button effect just keeps on going on.
Kelly, you got a thought? What's up?
Well, I wanted to say that there was some interview, and I read it just because I was interested in what was happening with the changes. And some people on the creative team explained what got pitched at D23. And now, mind you, they're ready to go if they're pitching it at D23. They're not sitting, it's not some blue sky situation when it comes to animation. So they had all this stuff ready. And they realized, wait, we have to create villains because we can't use any of the villains we want to use if we go by, that this is a prequel for the MCU Spider-Man. Can we change this? And by doing so, they then had to completely tear everything down, rerush it. So they're probably doing everything they can to reuse animation and characters that probably were different characters to begin with, which is probably why people are kind of just like these special characters in name only. But it's man, this is a mess. And I don't think it started out that way, but I think that they realized that maybe it's not a smart idea to do a prequel with after a character has been in 7 movies now.
Yes, I would like to hang on. I'm pulling up an image of the last show that this studio did that anyone cared about. I mentioned before, it's Tron Uprising, and this is back when before Marvel or Disney acquired Star Wars. Tron, I think, was going to be their big sci-fi brand. That was what they were pumping a lot of money into. And I have to point out
that went.
that Brad, I have screen share that this show looks like it has 10 times the budget of a show from, what was it, a decade and a half ago, compared to like I made a joke earlier, the copy and pasted building you see 10 times in a single shot. And like Kelly said, the villains feel hastily retooled. We've got like a diet Scorpion. We've got what was it, like Hot Wheels or something? I don't know, Speed Demon. I don't remember. If we
playing off your point about animation, and I will pop this up, and I'm curious for JR's thoughts. This, I thought, I did not in a million years think that was Harry Osborn.
Yes.
In a million years, I didn't. It does not.
No one did.
And I would like to point out that
I mean, they could, if they want to change the race, they're free to. These are alternate universes of our favorite characters.
It's the man bun.
But it looks like a woman to me. It really does. The animation is poor that I can't. It doesn't look like a man. It doesn't look like Harry Osborn that I've known for 60 years. And JR, what's your thoughts when you saw this?
Well,
and don't cancel us on the internet. So
be polite.
First of all, I think that's the point, that you can't tell if it's male or female, because that is the current perspective in the entertainment community, that there is no male or female. There is no good or bad, so all I can say about this show is that I seriously doubt that they were catering to an audience that will be eligible for Social Security this year.
They're not aiming it for. They're trying to aim for the people that buy tickets to the MCU movies.
So
and that's 18 to 34 probably, maybe a little younger if I had to guess. But I don't think. Oh man, I wanted to point. George and I reviewed a lot of bad Spider-Man cartoons on satellites back in the day. It wasn't ever this level of shit. And I've not seen.
It was bad. I mean, it was
real bad. But I will give it a chance. I will watch this thing and I will come back and we'll discuss it a little bit. My God, the animation, the changes done, even the Spider-Man costume looks atrocious.
I wanted to point out and in the past 4 years, we got the Clone Wars season, the revival season of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, which finally achieved George Lucas's vision of like feature-length animation in a TV show. And admittedly, animation is very expensive. An episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars costs about $1 to $2 million per episode. That's not including the gradual increase as the show's technology advanced. Tron Uprising, and I bring this up because it's made by the same studio, was also very expensive, not only because of the admittedly very high-profile voice cast, which I think this show saves a lot of money on as far as budget because there's not a whole lot of really memorable voice actors here. I joked about Gus Fring being Norman Osborn LARPing, but it's not Giancarlo Esposito. But I think when you look at shows, even the contemporary ones like Star Wars: The Bad Batch, all their spin-off titles for that show, the Tales of the Jedi and Empire stuff. Even X-Men 97, which was made by Marvel Animation. As much as I deride What If for its very MCU-esque art style, and what looks like the Tales of Wakanda and Marvel Zombies, which are made by the same studio, and I'm assuming have at least some overlap in terms of whoever does the cleanup. I know X-Men 97 had the benefit of being animated by Studio Mir, who have done a lot of gorgeous animation in the last decade. I just think at some point they just kind of cut their losses because they didn't know what to do with the show. And they were like, well, we can't withstand the public crucifixion of a tax write-off. So we'll keep a skeleton crew on this, chug to the finish line. And maybe there's like 2 seasons of just one season of 16 episodes split into 2 seasons of 8. We'll kind of.
This thing's not going to season 2. I almost guarantee.
But no, I'm talking about like in the Velma release model where they have all the episodes ready to go, and then they split the whole season into 2 ones to create the illusion of multiple seasons.
Go ahead, Peter.
Going off Neil, the Clone Wars was enjoyable to watch. So was Bad Batch, and so was even a lot of other animation that I've watched was enjoyable. This does not look enjoyable to watch for me.
No.
Even though Spider-Man is one of my favorite characters, I don't see this being enjoyable to watch at all.
But Peter, you could expand your wardrobe, sir. If you're a real big fan of this animation style, and this would be good for possibly a Spider Christmas episode, you can get all this bad art on a shirt.
Brad,
look at that. There's your lizard. You got your Doctor Strange.
Wait a second.
When Neil was talking, is this what you were doing on the computer?
Yeah. I'm having it ready. So this is our next topic. So you can have all this animation on a shirt. Like Marvel is an IP machine. They want to sell stuff. We've talked about this. Do you think anyone will? How much is this shirt? This is a $70 Kung Fu.
$70?
$70.
Well,
you can make payments on this damn shirt.
I will guarantee you, in about 2 years, you will find this in the Goodwill section, probably for selling for about $5. So
not to get into my hatred of the buy now pay later system because it's a debt trap.
Right.
But can we talk about how Scorpion looks like the classic Doomslayer?
Yeah, right.
Like, look at this guy. He is just happy to have friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Look at this.
On him.
Look at that man. Zoom in on that man's face. That's the face of if only you knew how bad things really are. That's the face that I would have for that phrase.
I was going to say that because
here you go.
Like please,
Sarah would like to say something.
Out of here. Yeah.
Go ahead, Sarah.
This brand has released many different Spider shirts in addition to other things. I do own a couple of these shirts that have been gifts to me, and I think they're outrageously priced for what they are. there are other companies that create, dress shirts, if that's focusing on just like the button ups, that are like not $70, so.
Well, how much is a t-shirt? $32 for this t-shirt here, Sarah.
It's not even like a colored t-shirt. It's just white.
It's too much. This brand costs too much.
They got a Hanes t-shirt, ripped the tag off, and said, "Whoop, it's our brand now, guys."
Oh, they got them for the ladies over here. Let's take a look, Kelly, Sarah, Christina. Are you putting this in your closet here?
I like.
Are you sure that's a lady?
I like the color of it, but I'm not sure if I like the characters on it and stuff.
It's not my style. But for anybody that does like those kind of like camp tiki shirts, I mean, it's cute enough. Sure.
Hang on, can anyone tell me who Knife Hands Lady is? Is that supposed to be Lady Deathstrike, or who is that?
Oh, I don't. Who knows?
The Swiss
at
Miss.
This point.
The Swiss Miss. I love it.
I just all the characters on there. They look like pajamas, more so than casual wear, casual t-shirt, shirt wear.
Look at that. That's funny.
I do want to. Oh, sorry.
But I was going to also add to about going off a little bit. I just want to point out the fact that I mean, it's not just the fact that the art style or the creative choices look like, terrible, but the animation, when you actually see the trailer of this thing, and somebody actually figured out one of the reasons why the animation looks bad. It's because they're purposely skipped frames. Because if you go slow down the video, there's frames that are being purposely, like the way that the fluids are, the way the
but the design is also shit.
Exactly. That's what I was pointing out. So they cut corners not only just on basically based on what Kelly said, but also cutting corners on basically on the animation itself. It looks like because in order to get this thing out, they had to reduce the number of frames per second in the animation, or at least somebody was figuring. If you watch the thing, go ahead, Neil. Yeah.
To bounce off of that point, I'm thinking maybe it was more of an artistic decision, and I can explain this because if you remember Into the Spider-Verse, when Miles first starts out, everyone else is at a 24 frames per second on, I think, a set of twos as far as animation goes, but Miles is on a 12 frames per second reel. But when he becomes when he embraces becoming Spider-Man and does the leap of faith, he gets into 24 frames. Right. Now, I'm not saying that, but of course, they have a good art team on Into the Spider-Verse, whereas Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man has a budget of a ham sandwich.
Yeah, right.
But I can maybe make the argument that was what they were going for. I will give the show one credit. They brought in Leonardo Romero to be the character designer, and while I don't agree with every creative decision he's made, I do think it has a very good 2D art style. It doesn't look good with the 3D models that it's textured over, but I do like the art style on the whole.
Yeah, they're trying to go for this tarantula. They're trying to go
tarantula.
Apparently, yeah.
Sure. Okay.
They're trying to. They're definitely trying. They're trying to go for it. They're trying to evoke the these art style of Steve Ditko, and I get that, but it's at the same time, it's like,
what?
But
it's an insult to Ditko.
I know. Yeah, I was gonna say it's just like
but so mad.
Yeah, he would. He would be really pissed off.
This is shit.
Well, he's always pissed off, so that doesn't make a difference.
He was always pissed off.
I think we can all agree this would be the far superior. The shirt, I like this one that the company offers. Still, $70 is too much.
I feel like, unfortunately, Marvel did not learn the lessons of MTV Man and realize that CGI is not a good medium for Spider-Man in animation. It's funny, but it's not good.
No.
All of this is so bad. It's triggered Chi-Town into becoming a villain.
He's the Emperor from Star Wars.
Tonight is the night that Peter turned.
Jesus Christ!
You're like what's that on Muppets Most Wanted? The opposite of Kermit.
Dark Kermit?
No, you're
what's a really bad hoodie.
Oh wait!
What's his name?
It was his evil twin brother, and I can't remember his name.
Oh,
Merkit.
Oh yeah.
No,
Apparently, it was Peter.
No.
Possible.
After the podcast is over tonight, he'll be issuing his list of demands.
Oh, I gotta Google it. Muppets Most Wanted.
Put Kermit's evil twin.
Yeah, it's got.
But the house is cold.
I think part of the issue, Mike, going off of the character design, is that Romero has a very Ditko-esque style, or closer to Chris Samney, because they're more closer to art styles. Mm-hmm. But because it has like the modern Iron Man designs and like kind of a weird hybrid of like classic and MCU style designs, it feels inconsistent.
And also the 2020, like, or trying to invoke the 2020 stuff, looks like a deal as well. Combined with this, it's like there's definitely feels like a real clash to a lot of it. And I mean, I do think it's funny that there was like an entire day's worth of discourse on the Discord about whether or not Aunt May was two different people, because they had the same clothes, the same face, but the hair length was different. And I think either Media Literacy is dead, or they really got us for a loop and they bamboozled us.
All right, we're gonna wrap up with this is what the people came for. This is what they came for. They're not about the new amazing creative team. They want to hear JR bring the funny.
Yeah.
So JR,
sorry, JR.
We're going back to TMZ, if you can believe it. All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
TMZ has a Spider-Man suspect stalking victim with package deliveries in England. Take me through this, JR.
I'm so glad Dark Mark's not covering this, because he would blame me.
You probably put Deb Whitman in there somewhere too, and we can't have that.
Well, if you wanted me to bring the funny, you should have given me some material to work with, because I actually did some additional research on this, and there is nothing. This is actually a very frustrating story. Well, first of all, this is actually an unusual thing for Spider News, because Brad actually picked something that has occurred within the last 12 months and calling it news. So, but this particular, anyway, so TMZ, what they do is they don't even tell you a story. They just show this dude, and in one shot, he's wearing a Spider-Man mask. Yeah. In the other two shots, he's not. But in one shot, he's wearing a Spider-Man mask, so now they're calling him a Spider-Man. I mean, there was more material with Gavin Edlinger and the Saginaw convenience store theft than there was here. But apparently, police are appealing for information about a stalker who was captured on a doorbell camera leaving unwanted packages while wearing a Spider-Man mask. Sussex police, because this is in England, this is not in America, Sussex police have lost an investigation and released a chilling CCTV footage about several concerning incidents reported in Hailsham, Sussex. Okay. The first incident occurred on February 13th when an unknown person left a package outside a property near Western Road. Okay, August 26th, the mystery suspect appeared again, this time caught on a doorbell camera, seen wearing a Spider-Man mask, which actually he kind of looks like the future Foundation Spider-Man.
He does, doesn't he?
In this particular photo. And they returned once again to the property on December 29th with doorbell footage capturing them once again. Okay, this must be they, them. So, well, that's true. You can't tell what it is. In fact,
it's a man or a woman. Yeah.
You really can't. In fact, in just looking at like the hands. Well, first of all, I thought it was probably Josh, our friend Josh, cosplaying, because, it looks like a young person, and, I mean, Josh, since Canada used to be something with England, I just figured maybe he'd go over there and, take his Spider-Man gig over there. But, anyway, this time but then like the third time, he's just wearing a mask and he waves at the camera. All right. It is not known what is inside the package.
What's in the box?
Are appealing for information or witnesses to assist their investigation.
Is my web in the box?
I can't believe it. He creased Miles's Jordans.
What's in the box? No news sources revealing what's in it, huh?
No. I mean, I looked at half a dozen news stories. And I'm reading this one from the I think it's the Independent, but no one. There is they don't. Several of the stories don't even mention the packet, or whether or not the package had identifiable contents. Some say no one knows what's in the package. Some say that police aren't identifying what's in the package. But here's the thing. This happened only three times during the year. The packages all look fairly innocuous. One looks like a book or a T-shirt.
Real quick, JR. Chat. Write what is in the box. Go.
Oh
But
God.
here's the thing. There's no indication. I mean, the police are wanting information, but there's no indication that this is a threat. They're not saying that nasty shit was left. They're not saying that. I mean, literally shit was left. They're not saying anything. It's just somebody.
What kind of nasty shit do you expect to be left, JR?
Well, shit. But they're not saying if it's like it's pornography. They're not saying like it's
Yeah, because you need to know that, right?
What the hell?
But if you're wanting
Swedish erotica?
they're not saying that it's particularly threatening to the people who live there. There is nothing to indicate that there's any urgency to this whatsoever. A weirdo has left some packages, but they don't. I mean, I can see why they don't disclose what was in them, because theoretically only the person who did it would know, and the people who got it would know what was in there. But there's the fact that it occurred like 3 times stretched over an entire year. They're not saying whether what was in the package. They're not saying whether it was threatening to the people. They're not saying whether it was an attempt to intimidate these people. There's absolutely no immediacy or urgency to this story at all. This is a non-story, which makes it perfect for Brad's Spider News.
And you're welcome. All right, we're going to go around the horn. What's in the box? Go ahead, Mike.
I was actually coming up with a theory that maybe this guy is an Amazon delivery person, but he dropped him off. The package were dropped off at the wrong house.
Okay.
And then obviously, so that's probably the reason why the police are not saying anything. The UK police are not saying anything, because they realized, oh, well, that maybe these were, or the other thing is this guy got these they got these packages for Christmas from these people, and he was too embarrassed to basically admit that I don't want them. So he dressed up in this Spider-Man mask, came and basically go to the different houses and drop the packages off.
All right, there you go.
He just re-gifted them.
That's Mike's theories. Christina, what's in the box?
Oh my goodness. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know.
All right. It's a jam or peanut butter of the month club.
Sure.
Anyway, Neil, what's in the box?
So I put it in the chat, but I think this gentleman is creating a cremated ashes funerary service known as Ashes to Dashes, and this is the
Uncle Ben's ashes.
And these are the buy now pay later version of getting Uncle Ben's ashes for his loved ones.
Okay.
Oh, wow. It's like a reverse mortgage. George, what's in the box?
A return from or going back to Brad Dragon.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
If you know, you know.
What's Bad Dragon? No, I don't.
No.
You don't want to know, old man. I've seen cosmic horrors, and you don't want to see them too.
Wow, I love it that half the panel said no to George. Explaining that with bar graphs and whatever.
Yeah, you don't need to. You
don't want to see the Hickman data chart I've got on those things.
Sarah, what's in the box?
I'm not playing this game, Brad. Move on.
Oh, Sarah!
Oh, come on.
Sarah won't play with me.
That's the only way to win is to not play.
Sarah, I'm knocking on your door. I want to go out and play. Come on, let's play.
This has the same energy as like the Bendis is coming poster.
Oh, she laughed. She shut the door on me.
this has the same energy as like what was supposed to be promising and exciting is like instead of vague threat.
All right, I'm knocking on Chi-Town's door. What's in the box? Oh, he's got a prop. Trash.
Trash.
Okay.
Garbage.
He's got trash. All right.
Why do you have trash in your...
JR, it's your topic. What is your opinions in the box?
Did someone say that maybe it was a mistaken delivery and the guys just returned it to who?
Yep.
Yeah,
that was me. Yeah. That was me. Yeah.
Somebody said that. Yeah, he's just giving it back to the people it was originally addressed to. There's no story here. That's the thing. I agree with Sarah. Don't play the game. There's no story here.
Kelly will play.
Saying that. I mean, if it said, for example, that you know, they contain threatening messages, intimidating messages, nasty pictures, something. But it's just, hey, come on, they know what's in the, you know, there's no story. Which, like I said,
maybe there's a story in the box.
Kelly, I had more story about the hit and run involving a 7-year-old.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
Good.
Brad cut that story out. He edited that story.
But you just brought it back in.
Wait, hang on. Hey, JR, are you Marquez Brownlee in a school zone?
What's that?
Are you Marquez Brownlee in a school zone going 70?
All right, Kelly's going to play the game. I hope.
How am I supposed to play the game after that?
I don't know. Yeah, that was dark. Kelly.
Okay, all I have to say is, if a news article is being written about it, if the police are involved, clearly there was something in these packages that was unwanted and warranted the UK police to be involved. So while I will not speculate, because I don't want us, you know, I don't want the feed to be taken down, Brad.
Okay.
We do need to keep, you know, appearances and be nice and friendly, because we also don't know what little ears are watching or listening or whatever. But the whole point is, I think things were disgusting.
Yeah, I agree. All right, chat, I asked you, what's in the box? Adam says he's unloading leftover Wells run issues. Mr. Comics, Black Cat's toys.
Your cat toys, you cut out a very important part of that.
Ashes,
you did.
Which is what Neil said.
That's me.
Kelly says it's a care package.
That's me.
Diabetic Spooperman says giving away the Gang War issues of Amazing Spider-Man. It's a pile of jackpot books or unwanted Spider Boy books.
Say boy.
Let's see. The unscripted Sony Sinister 6 movie. Don't Google it on stream, Brad. Okay.
Don't. I'm telling you, don't do it.
Yeah.
Vinkman says my dignity is in the box. Gwen Stacy's head. Ooh.
Whoa.
Okay.
Peter Palmer says my dignity was lost in a long box of 90s image books years ago.
Yeah. Right. So that Spider-Man found them, and he's trying to.
Yeah. He's trying to return them to me.
Yeah.
Very good. Thanks. Could be overdue blockbuster videos.
All right.
It's your problem now.
I think
all right, JR. It's time for more crime, baby.
You know what to do, JR. Get in the car and drive into that school zone.
I thought that was the crime for the.
Hold on, I got another website that likes to pop up all over the place.
Is this Italian Spider-Man?
Here we go, JR. Take me through this one.
I have no idea. I didn't see this on the list.
It's the second one.
Good Lord, it's like a splash page on a Dan Slott comic.
Right.
This is
wait.
Spider-Man.
Is he on rollerblades and a gun?
Yes.
Wow. I love how Spider-Man took influence from classic Iron Man when he had the roller skates on.
All right. Do you want me to talk it through it, JR?
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm looking here. The only thing you gave me, the only thing you gave me here was Spider-Man England Stalker. I've not seen this.
You're the very last thing under Friendly Neighborhood Collection. Rollerblading Spider-Man opens fire /JR.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'll take it then.
Yeah,
okay, a gunman dressed as Spider-Man opened fire on a man in the Bronx on Thursday, this was published November 1st. Okay, so it was back in October. Oh, that Brad, he sure does get timely material. Oh, wait, I am Brad. The web slingers packing heat. A shooter dressed in a black Spider-Man outfit chased after a man, gun blazing, while skating on rollerblades in the Bronx on Thursday, according to law enforcement officials. The masked menace was cruising along Union Avenue. When he opened fire, the rollerblading wall crawler fired off at least 3 shots. A bystander called 911 after a stray bullet crashed through his window and struck a wall inside his Union Avenue apartment. Both the I see what they're doing here. The unfriendly neighborhood Spider-Man and his intended victim fled the scene. Police recovered a silver handgun in a nearby garage can. And Thursday night's shooting marked the second time a costume criminal struck New York City surrounding Halloween. thief dressed as Jack Sparrow beat and robbed a man inside the Brooklyn Avenue number 6 train. He sported a goatee. Anyway.
That's one way to parlay.
Wow, violence in New York. What do they think of next?
The rollerblading Spider-Man, the criminal. Our thoughts?
He's got good form.
Jeez.
It's the Venomized suit, right? So it's the black suit.
It's a symbiote.
Is it Spider-Man or is it Venom?
Ooh, yeah.
Yo, black suit Venom framing Spidey.
Hey, remember that one story about all those guys who were dressed in various comic book characters basically couldn't get
in Times
license?
Square.
Yeah, Times Square licensing thing. Yeah. This seems like a natural extension of that now, because now they're
this is the sequel.
This is the sequel. This is the Civil War II version.
All I have to say is this seems like a plot that would happen in Venom. In the movies?
Yeah. Right.
This is stupid enough I could see it in a comic.
Yeah. Very true.
The rollerblading Spidey.
So,
that's just like
JR, what's your thoughts on your news topic?
Lucky you.
Well, if you had actually given me a news topic, I might have had
an Google Doc, you blind bastard.
You know what? This is actually pathetic.
We know.
I do. Okay, real quick. I just want to.
We have an epidemic of crime in this country.
Yeah.
And we have absolutely nothing being done. We have an ineffectual government. We have ineffectual law enforcement. It's just it's hard to do. It's hard to even make something fun with this. Because it's just showing how pathetic and things are, and how just our civilization is going into the effing sewer.
Way to bring the funny, JR. All right.
There is no funny to bring. There is no funny to bring.
It's a dude in a Spider-Man suit. I mean,
no,
my
it's
God.
not funny.
Who did we just lose?
Peter.
Peter.
All right, we're going to do final thoughts. I'm going to start with JR just so he can cleanse. JR, final thoughts.
God, I'm glad this day is over.
Well,
I'm looking forward to the next one.
Okay.
Can't wait to analyze more stories of this shit sorcerer Spider-Man.
I was gonna say, how do you feel about the next article Brad pulls being like Spider-Man lights train on fire?
Hey, don't give it away. All right. Final thoughts, Kelly. Follow that.
I have to really pee. So.
Okay. There you go. All right.
That's the most intelligent thing we've said tonight. So.
All right. Final thoughts, Sarah.
I think this segment should be labeled like unhinged Spider-Man news. That's more appropriate.
I'll give you that. George, final thoughts.
I regret every life decision that's brought me here tonight.
Okay. Neil, final thoughts.
I've spoken with Satan himself. He's carving out the third part of the seventh circle of hell just for us. We belong there.
Wow.
Is it Phil Coulson?
Sure.
I don't Christina,
care.
Final thoughts.
I'm going to bed. Tomorrow's my birthday. And so
happy birthday.
Yes.
Christina. Yeah.
This is your present from us.
Did you get high at some point tonight?
What, George?
Did you get high, Christina, at some point tonight? She said, "I'm going to bed. Tonight's my birthday." You sound like you've been, sparking up over there the whole time.
Now, Christina, I have to warn you: if anybody delivers a box on your front porch in a Spider-Man mask, be suspicious.
Yes.
For your birthday, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out.
All right. The man, the myth, the legend we've not seen in 6 to 8, 10 months, Mike McNulty, final thoughts. I've missed you.
That's a big
Brad,
range.
what exactly was the common linkage to all these things? Because you got me.
Spider-Man, come on!
I mean, I can understand the, but you got, okay, we got, because I mean, now if the rollerbladed guy was essentially like if the footage was done in the style of basically the same style as the Spider-Man, as a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man cartoon, where it's like skipping frames and everything like that, or maybe there would be something, I guess, but I mean, but yeah. So
hang on.
Yeah.
So,
and also,
yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, but no, it's still good to be on and everything like this. Even though, it's probably gonna have to, re-examine my life priorities after reading that very depressing Spider-Man issue again for the review show. But
0 days without nonsense. 0. Yes, indeed.
Welcome to Spider News, guys.
Everybody, thanks for watching our first Spider News of 2025. Christina, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Christina.
And JR, I started 3 hours ago wanting to give you a hug. I've not changed. Come here, bring it in. Forget it. Roll credits.